Hello and welcome to another video. If you're new here, my name is Danny. So today, as you saw from the title, we are talking about some new product launches from Kjaer Weis, that being the Quadrant, which is an eyeshadow type of palette product, and then also a brow gel. So super excited to talk to you guys about these. I'm gonna demo them for you guys, let you know my initial thoughts. These are going to be my first impressions, and I am also going to be doing just a full face of other clean beauty. I am going to be using mostly other Kjaer Weis products, but I'll be using some other clean beauty brands as well. But let's just go ahead and get right into it. All right, so to start off, I'm going to apply foundation, and also I know it looks like I have quite a bit of acne going on, but actually most of what you're seeing is hyperpigmentation left over from acne. So just thought I would throw that in there. I don't know why, in case you're curious. So I'm using their liquid foundation. I have this in the shade F134 Refined. And this foundation has quite light coverage, but I have done a review on this if you guys want like a more detailed review or just get more detailed information on it. But I like how this looked on the skin. It looks very seamless. I found that it didn't look patchy, and it just feels really lightweight. So if you don't have a lot to cover up, I think this is probably one that you'll like. Kind of something that's like a little bit more than a tinted moisturizer. I kind of feel like that's similar to what this is, just because it doesn't provide a lot of coverage, but it does look really pretty on the skin. I do wish this had a pump. I think it would be super helpful if they ended up switching the packaging maybe to have a pump, just because I find that the dropper is it gets a little bit messy and it kind of takes a while to get the product out. So I guess I'm just going to start blending this in with my fingers at first, just to get that really seamless blend. I feel like this just gives it the most seamless appearance because you're using the warmth of your fingers to kind of melt the product in. And hopefully you guys can see. I mean, I do have a little bit of texture, so maybe you can see a little bit of that, but it does look really like fresh, and it looks quite seamless, at least I think it does. And you could definitely just blend out with a sponge or brush, whatever you prefer. I just like using my fingers because I think it looks the most natural, but I guess it does kind of take a little bit more time to do it this way. Now I'm just going to go in with a sponge and kind of blend over it all. So there you can see what it looks like if you have hyperpigmentation. This is what one layer looks like. Obviously, it doesn't cover everything up. It has covered a little bit up, but there's still quite a bit poking through. So I am going to do one more layer, but I don't want to build the foundation up too much. I don't want to apply a bunch of foundation because I know when you do that, sometimes it can look a bit heavy. But I feel like this one doesn't look heavy that easily. Like you can apply another layer and it normally looks fine, but I'm just going to do a very light layer, just a little bit extra, and then I'll use concealer to kind of spot conceal. Okay, so now for concealer, I'm going to use the Kosas Revealer Concealer. I have this in the shade 3.5, and this one definitely is a bit too yellow toned for me, and I know a lot of people, you've probably seen that from other reviews, is that a lot of people say that the shades are very yellow toned, but actually they did come out with some more shades, and I believe they have some more shades that are supposed to have more neutral undertones and more like pink undertones. I would be very interested to try one of the newer shades because this one definitely is a bit too yellow for me, but I'm just going to use this to spot conceal and under the eyes. Okay, and now before I do anything else, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to skip to my eyebrows because I just feel like I want to do something to my eyebrows. And as you saw from the title, one of the new products is their brow gel. So I have this in the shade Blonde. It has this really pretty sleek black packaging, and it has a like spoolie kind of applicator. It definitely like fills in the brows a little bit, but like any brow gel, if you want something more precise, this isn't going to give you kind of that precise shape. But if you want something that's just super quick and easy to use and just kind of adds a little bit of a tint to the brows, kind of helps to hold them in place, then I think this is one that you might be interested in checking out. Like a lot of brow gels, that's kind of what they do. They're not going to really give you that like super precise shape, but they do help to give a little bit of a tint and just help to keep those hairs in place. It says it's made with certified organic ingredients that are kind to and condition your brow hairs, including moisturizing rice flour, calming lavender water, and organic coconut oil, and chestnut extract, both known to help with hair growth. I know that coconut oil is, it's not something you really want to put on your face, especially if you're acne prone, because it can clog the pores. Coconut oil is very comedogenic, but I feel like on the brows, hopefully it shouldn't be too much of an issue, but obviously I can update you guys on that once I've used it more. This is really my first impression of using it, but I definitely think it's, super quick and easy to use. I actually do kind of like that it has a bigger kind of applicator. I know some brow gels do have a smaller spoolie applicator, which is nice because that helps you, helps it so you can make it more precise. But actually, I still find that because of the shape of this, you can still really like target where you want to put it. It's still precise. And I feel like it's just even quicker to use because it does have that bigger applicator. But yeah, so I'll let you guys know what I think of it more once I have actually tried it for longer. If you guys are curious, I can use it in future videos. I do think that it helps to fill in the brows. It gives it some tint. Now, my brows don't look as sparse, so it does have a little bit more. It's just filled in a little bit more. So yeah, and it doesn't feel heavy. Obviously, it's still kind of drying down now, so I can still kind of feel it. Like it feels a little bit wet, but it doesn't feel heavy. It does feel lightweight. All right, so now I just want to set the face a little bit. So I'm going to use the Pacifica Neutralizing Mineral Mattifier. This is in the shade 2. So I'm just going to kind of apply this to the areas where I get the most oily. As you can see with that foundation, it does give your skin a little bit of a glow. It is somewhat dewy, at least on my skin. I'm going to warm up the face, and I'm using the Kjaer Weis bronzer. This is in the shade Basque. I do really like this bronzer. Alright, so now let's go ahead and move on to the eyes. So another one of their new products is the Quadrant, which is an eyeshadow palette. This is the Wanderer version. So they also have another version which is called Spellbound. Wanderer kind of has those lighter shades, and what it looks like on their website is that Wanderer is more for those fair to light skin tones, and then Spellbound is more for those medium to deep skin tones. And I mean, obviously it's eyeshadow, so if you like those deeper shades, then you could totally go for it, even if you have a fair complexion, and vice versa. Even if you have a deeper complexion and you like those lighter shades, then you can definitely go for the lighter shades. That's kind of how they display them on the models. But anyway, so this is the version Wanderer. I'm going to go ahead and swatch these for you, and then I'll apply them. It says that these are supposed to be super silky, that transform, deepen, and shift with every layer, enveloping eyes in ethereal color. So I do agree that these are very silky. They do feel very soft to the touch. And when you're looking at the actual palette itself, these do look like more matte shades, but then when you swatch them, hopefully you guys saw from the swatches, they do have a little bit of a shimmer to it, which I think are really pretty. And while it says that you can deepen these up, I definitely feel like, at least from the swatches, it takes a few layers to really kind of build up that color. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the shade Charmed, which is, again, that versatile beige. And I'm just going to kind of apply this all over the lid, but I guess kind of concentrating that in the crease. Actually, I'm just going to apply it to the crease. I was going to just apply it all over, but it actually shows up a little bit deeper than I thought it would on the eyes. So that is a really pretty transition shade. Hopefully you guys can see that well. Okay, and then I'm gonna take the shade Wisdom, which is that mauve brown shade. I'm just gonna apply this to kind of the outer area. All right, now with my finger, I'm gonna take the shade Grace, which is that light mocha shade, and I'm just gonna apply this kind of like mostly all over the lid, but not applying it over top of where I applied the shade Wisdom. All right, and then I'm just gonna kind of try to blend it all out. Alright, and then I'm going to use the shade Angelic, which is the light pink shade, and I'm going to apply that to the inner corner. So then, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use their eyeliner. This is in the color Brown. And I'm just going to do a super simple line, just really line that top lash line. There's what the eyeshadow looks like. I will say, I feel like it will take quite a bit of building up to really get a deeper look, because I feel like with initial application, even when I was kind of building it up a little bit, it still isn't coming off super bold. Yeah, so it definitely takes a bit of building up. I'm gonna go ahead and apply mascara, and I'm using the Kjaer Weis Volumizing Mascara. Apply some of the Kjaer Weis lip balm just to add some moisture to my lips. Then I'm gonna apply the Kjaer Weis lip liner, and this is in the shade Bear, which is this really pretty pink shade. Apply the Kjaer Weis powder highlighter. This is in the shade Beam, and it's a really pretty like light pink highlighter shade, and I feel like it's quite subtle. It does give a glow to the skin, but I also find it to be quite subtle. If you like a very like simple highlighter, something that's not super just like boom in your face, then you might like this one. I almost completely goofed and forgot blush, so I'm going to use the Kjaer Weis blush, and this is in the shade Blossoming. This is a cream blush. Also, I totally did my outro without the blush on, so if you notice a change in what the finished look looks like, then that's why. Alright, so this is the completed look, and hopefully you guys found the demo using the 2 new products from Kjaer Weis helpful. Have you guys tried these new products yet? What do you think? If you've tried them, I'd love to know what you think. And if you have not tried them, are these products that you think you're interested in checking out? Do they look like something that you might be interested in purchasing? Let me know what your thoughts are. I'd love to know what you guys are thinking about them. I will say I'm not a huge fan of like eyeshadow things when they're like in this format, and the reason is just because like you see how small they are. Like those shades are so small there. I find it's kind of hard to like get to the individual shades. With that being said, I still got to the individual shades fine, and I was able to swatch them individually just fine. But I just find like in general, I would kind of like them to be separated a little bit more. That way it's not as easy to kind of like mix them. Now, if you are the kind of person who really likes a bold eyeshadow, you want eyeshadows that are very pigmented, these are probably not ones that you would be interested in, just because they do take quite a bit of building up in order to get more pigment. And even when you do kind of build it up, it doesn't get super bold. I mean, I didn't try to build it up a super lot. That English there. I didn't try to build it up a whole lot, but I did try to build it up a little bit, and even with that, it's still not like coming off super bold. It is still quite subtle. So if you do like eyeshadows that are really easy to work with, then I think that this is something that you might be interested in. Like, because it's not as pigmented, I feel like you can kind of like play around with it a little more. You can keep adding more without it looking harsh. But yeah, so that is it for today's video. I really hope that you guys found it helpful and enjoyed it. If you did, please let me know by giving me a thumbs up. And if you guys do want to see more content from me in the future, please go ahead and subscribe. That would mean so much to me. We're almost at 2,000. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you all for my next video. Bye, guys.